Where's your adventure sunnies, mister? Where's your adventure sunnies?
They're the polarized.
Hey, yes.
Well, it feels like it was a couple of weeks ago when I said one of the hottest days of the year, and lol jokes at me, it's an absolute stinker. And so I've got a trip coming up with my mate Phil and another one with Mum, and we're going to do some hiking. And so I thought today I would put together a quick little kit and see if I can hike out to the same spot where I camped and wished I had a fishing rod. And this time I'll take a fishing rod with me. Have gone for a full Simon Bloke in the Woods organisation of the garage, and I'm loving it. Alright, I think that's us. Backpack, a solid 20 years old. I have a ultralight on its way from AliExpress. Super excited, should get here later this week. Boots, socks, change of t-shirt, favourite jumper, good book. Tent pad, poles, pegs, mat, towel, fishing rod, fishing reel, fishing tackle, stove primer. Remember the debacle from the last time. Inside the stove is a lighter, lantern, pot. Inside the pot is a cup, towel, water purifier, dinner, tea bags, coffee, power bank, cables, first aid, toilet paper, sleeping bag. And by sleeping bag, I meant quilt and pillow. Crowded in my little ensuite, but I just weighed in at 92.6 kgs, and then I put my shoes and backpack on, so let's find out what that does. 1083. So 15.7 kgs of gear and boots and water and food, all up.
Where's your adventure sunnies, mister?
Say again?
Where's your adventure sunnies?
These are polarized for the fishing.
Who cares?
I am acutely aware pumping this 20-year-old backpack in stout boots through the middle of a residential subdivision. But, as I'm fond of saying in my videos, it turns out, here we are. After moaning about roadside peaches not being ready on my bike ride the other week, roadside plums are go. Alright, so we've got about just under 8k to cover, and I reckon 4 kilometres now if you're walking, 2 if there's any hills, and 1 if you're in the bush. So let's say we've got pretty flat concrete most of the way, and so we'll call it just under 2 hours. My arm is not long enough for this. It may have been a bit hyperbolic when I claimed it was one of the hottest days of the year today. Not true. Today we only reached 26. We're having a very hot summer though. We're a temperate climate. So -4 is about as cold as I'd ever see in the winter. And high 20s are about as hot as it gets. But because of the inland nature of where we are, and quite big hills around the place, peat swamps here and there's not a lot of wind, and there is a lot of humidity. One of my favourite hiking books of all time is The Walker's Guide. Oh, I'm not sure that's what it's called anymore, but edition 4 I think they got up to is the one I like. Chip Fletcher and Colin Rawlings. Oh gosh. I remember a passage in there that heat is the enemy of feet and it creates blisters. And I can tell you that these are hot from pounding on concrete so far, and I look forward to having a look at them later. Oh, mate, glad to be here. Do you remember the GSI pot gripper I lost? Well, here it is. I can't believe it. You can't make that stuff up. Despite yelling and screaming when I got here about my pot gripper, I had planned to be a little bit stealthy, to maybe sneak up on anything that's in the river. But if I've said it once, gosh, that's an aphorism I don't need to use. I'm not a great fisherman, so there might be nothing in that river. It's quite tricky. A piece of my rod fell down on the cracks between this picnic table. Found it. I read a book when I was a kid that you should oil your ferrules with the oil on your face, which when I was a spotty teenager reading that, I certainly had an excess of oil on my face. I was out fishing with Laura the other day, and she ties a beautiful uni knot, whereas I realise I just tie a dirty old improved clinch. So I might take some time to learn a uni knot one day. My father-in-law gets quite frustrated when he watches me tie fishing knots, and I can see why now. The girls picked a new lure for me today, and I hate treble hooks, so I was in a bit of a hurry. I just chopped 2 of the barbs off each hook, and so I'm just going to toss this lure and see how we get on. gosh, it's beautiful. I have just realised that this is the spot with the hedgehogs and possums all night, and that the spot further up, which I rode back to here from in the video, was the one with the waterfall filtering into the river. We're going to prime with some meths, which means pour meths through here until it fills up the little bowl below. Great. We'll light that with a small voomph. That's a small voomph. That's going to heat up this, and then we should be away laughing. So as that meths boils away, we'll hopefully have primed the white gas enough. While we bring some water to the boil, we've got vegetables, red cabbage, edamame beans, corn, and a pad thai noodle base, and some chopped chicken, which we'll put together. And I think I just want to bring this all to the boil in a bit of a goop. I think the old stove might need a fettle. It's pretty slow these days. And maybe it's the wick. It also occurred to me that I was quite wet from my sweaty t-shirt, so I thought I would put my favourite jumper on. And lo and behold, the favourite jumper has delivered again. A good friend asked me, Scott asked me, a good friend Scott asked me the why of the videos. And part of it is to nurture a creative urge of putting something together which is creative, like a video. And then I saw a Instagram reel of, what is his name? Uber famous music producer, Rick Rubin. Explaining that he does it for himself first and for the listener or the consumer of the art second. Just thinking about that, I think this is for me. I think that's the primary why, Scott. Well, surely that's past the minimum temperature for the minimum time to kill anything that was in that river water. Vaguely Thai flavoured cabbage goop broth. Okay, instead of making a pig of myself and burning my mouth, now that I spent so long getting it hot, I'm going to let it cool down. I've just cast my rod a dozen more times To no avail, but at least dinner's cooled down. Yeah, it's not bad. Oh, spilt the mess this time. Oh dear, the stove is not very happy at all. Cooker is very unhappy. I'm hoping I didn't put the wrong gas in it, but I will take it apart in the coming weeks and see what I can do with it. I'm just going to pump up my mattress and pillow, find a book and a headlamp, and read for a little while. It's gone 9 already, and I'll be asleep soon. So, catch you in the morning. Morning. Not the worst night of sleep at all. Oh, it's pretty good actually. I slept well until about 2, and then had the tossing turnies for a little while. And yeah, it's 6:30 now, and I've just heard walkers on the path. I have not camped anywhere remotely stealthy, like super visible. I guess I should pack up sooner or later. What I would do for a coffee. I'm glad that the cooker made it through dinner though. It would have been an unappetizing meal. Frozen beans and chopped chicken with crunchy noodles. They're a stack of carp in that river. And so that was interesting to me. Yeah. The walk I'm doing end of this week with Mum is to a hut in the Kaimai Ranges called Waitawheta, and I've promised to carry Mum a sleeping bag and a pillow and a cooker. I will try and find a working cooker to take, and knowing Mum, she'll sneak in a dessert. I spent a while yesterday playing with the fit of the pack, just getting it where I wanted it to, and it's definitely a couple of kgs lighter this morning, but still the fit is good too. So maybe the 20-year-old pack will get another couple of outings in its lifetime. 8:23, I'm on a serious go slow this morning, which I blame to the lack of coffee. This way is the fastest way home. This way, at the top of that hill, there's a chance that Miriam will be up there brewing this morning. We're going to take that chance. No Miriam, but the water tower, which I do not know the history of. Almost home, key takeouts. Gosh, I'm glad I put some work into the feet. They were very soft. I mean, it might not do much, but at least it's highlighted any pressure points I can tape up for my next walk. And walking is hard. Been thinking about some trip ideas to do into the autumn and over the winter. Looking forward to some exciting walking, biking, paddleboarding, otherwise having fun missions. Ramble, ramble, ramble. See you next time.